Hey there guys, this is Pharaoh2091 and welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Last time we left off, we heard what Fulbright had to say, we pressed on all the statements, and we got more details of the case, but they all hurt us. And Blackwell's like, why don't you ask him yourself? This must be a trap, but, let's just hear what he has to say. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of that rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got to the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him. So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim? Ha ha. Ha ha ha. I bet you think I'm lying, right? Well, I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you. I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous. Though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. Haha, haha, haha. I really don't care what happens anymore. Ha ha ha. Oh no, he's completely given up. I mean, why is it in question marks? Isn't it him? What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in a clink, imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackwell a second ago? Huh? That was Blackwell sighing? Okay, there we go. Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck's my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. There's a contradiction in there? Oh boy. I gotta pay better attention. Let's see here. So, all I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of there, and it seems okay. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay passed out by the time we got to order to evacuate. So, what contradiction? I have a feeling it's probably this one. I love it, he just keeps pointing like, up, boop, 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 boop. Alright. Let's take a look at my evidence. To the elevator down. So where does that diagram? He took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for a corridor. Wait a minute, but according to that, the elevator is in the lower level? Right? I mean, is that the contradiction, or... I think that's it right there. It's like the elevator wasn't even there. Objection! Oh, nope, I was mistaken. Consider the evidence. There's obviously something wrong with that statement. Your gall knows no bounds. It's shocking, really. What's that supposed to mean? You stand there brazenly objecting to perfectly factual statements. One does not see such shameless behavior that often. A penalty for our shameless attorney. Oh no, looks like Blackwell's turning the judge against me. Oops, excuse me. So maybe that wasn't... I think I'm on the right statement, but it's the wrong evidence. So would it be the bomb report? The explosion sparked a fire on the second floor of the main building in the middle level of the launch... Oh, near the elevator, duh! Objection! Oh jeez, what the hell's wrong with me? Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was it not being accurate? No, because it is impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. Well, what makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in the launch pad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right. Which means... Exactly. The launch pad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement's decidedly inconsistent with the facts. What the hell? What's with the helmet? Oh, Mission Command! Mission Command! Do you read me? Come in, please!
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention! Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck. Ah! Where'd my helmet go? My helmet! Ah! My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting medical assistance. God. I don't understand. What the hell? It's like we have a breakdown already. It reminds me of Buzz Lightyear, like when in the very first Toy Story, he's like, "Oh, I can't breathe," and he's like, "Wait a minute, yes I can." Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. I forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed more like an astronaut now than he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you used the middle-level elevator? I was nervous and I said the wrong thing, alright? I'm sorry. I actually, took a different route, I think. A different route? I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. God, I'll get it right this time. Maybe. No, I mean probably. Probably? It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, your accuracy is paramount in court. Alright, let's hear his escape route. Let's see, my escape route. What was it? What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe. Probably. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down to the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I used that ladder to get down to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. And the capsule you mentioned, I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Taryn here? Was the capsule that important that you risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contained asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With his spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but securing a capsule is also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Oh, boy. Maybe I am guilty after all. I wonder if you can see the stars in prison. I bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Now, that is a really weird testimony he just gave us. I mean, there's basically nothing we can use, because he was like so... He was so indecisive. The only thing he says, like, his apparent route was this one. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down to the upper level. Let's just go ahead and press on that real quick. The upper level of the launch pad area? That's right. That's what I said, isn't it? Granted, that route does exist. So to recap, you had clay over your right shoulder and the capsule in your left hand. Yeah, it's really important, so I couldn't let it get burned up. So, even though clay was really heavy, I couldn't afford to carry him with both hands. I did the best I could with him over my one shoulder and the capsule in my other hand. I don't think the meaning of what he just said has hit him yet. You know what you have to do. You know what you have to do with that statement. Justice Dono. Yes, I know. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. It's time to present some evidence. So, Mr. Starbuck escaped with clay in the capsule, which means It's just like in the footage. I can see why he couldn't run, though. He must have weighed over 200 pounds just by himself. Yeah, and he had to support Clay, who was another 200 pounds. Plus, he had to ensure that safety of that capsule. I don't think I could have even walked under those circumstances. Walking straight forward is probably about all I could have been able to manage. So, yeah, him saying, all that stuff, the capsule and Clay in his arms, you made your way down to the upper level? So, I mean, can you even climb down a ladder of all that? I think that's wrong.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue. No, that's not right. I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. God, the oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not as long as this was along the escape route. So what doesn't Starbuck's escape route add up? Why doesn't it? Well, it'll be the ladder, right? You can't climb. You can't do that while holding both the capsule and Clay. To get down from the upper to middle level where the Launchpad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Oh, of course. That was the only way we could escape.
Objection!
But how would that work? By the time you were supporting Mr. Terran over your shoulder, at that time you were supporting him over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
You're not on the moon. But the space center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus, climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh! So, Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Oh! Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth. Now! Engineer! Where's an engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. What the hell? Oh! He just flew off. What the? He's flying the coop. Oh! Help! I'm caught on the ceiling. Help? Anyone? Bailiff, prepare as a cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. I'd rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real. How does it... Never mind. There's a cherry picker and everything, apparently, in the courtroom. Oh boy. Whoa. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yeah. I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? That's that! Anything but that! What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. It appears Spaceboy is prone to deception. Witness! Yikes! Yes? I thought your story odd, but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect? Prosecutor Blackwell, please! Please don't talk about that! What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackwell? Didn't I already state that Spaceboy is ironically terrified of going to space? That's why he took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh, I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medications, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them into me, or to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects. Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? Oh, that's weird. Order in the court. We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Oh, why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? I guess he didn't want anybody to find out that he was terrified of going to space. Oh, maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question of how the witness climbed down the ladder of a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my! I see. And then the defendant could climb down with his free hand.
Objection!
Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectful thing? Besides, dropping the body would leave marks on the body itself. So you were capable of quick thinking. Yes, you're correct. Really? Oh, well, thanks. Ah! Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank in the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured. I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be applying a rupture when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am. They fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel would leave its mark on the body. Yet, according to the autopsy report, only the knife wound was found in the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws as a line of questioning here.
Silence.
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer.
Objection!
Then shouldn't it be impossible to stab someone through it as well? It should, and yet, through sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself with knowledge of how the suits work. Ugh, he's got me there. And now my argument has been proven. Spaceboy killed the victim in the rack and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Terran. Gah! Here, the report regarding the astronaut's oxygen tanks. Consider this my send-off gift. Feel free to use it as payment across the river Styx. Gah! Oxygen tank data. So, what does it say real quick? Victim's tank was ruptured with 0% left. The defendant's had 80% left. Remaining oxygen is displayed on left shoulder. There's already a huge contradiction with that. And I think you all know why. Well, maybe. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Yep. Let's see. The display in the astronaut's left shoulder shows how much oxygen remains. I guess that means that glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen remaining. That says 50. I'm done for. I'm gonna prison instead of space. Space boy. Yes? Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful even when viewed through bars. You mean the stars are seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. That's not a half-bad thought. Mr. Starbuck, Prosecutor Blackwell got to him good. Spaceship prison cell, fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then let's get sucked into a black hole together.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh, well, yes, Apollo. You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. He said you never give up your dreams and passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Taryn. For Clay. You're wasting your breath. What? The hell? Now we just look at him now. Look at that confidence. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. Mr. Starbuck, I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right, we'll both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent. You'll see. And after that, we'll get you back into space. Yeah, you've reunited the booster rockets of my soul. I'm on fire. I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, a cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. There's no time for me whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Boulder Dash. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me. Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! What's going on? He's doing it! He's doing it! Oh, wait. I thought he was seriously going to fly up in the air. Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackwell's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit. It was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. If you simpletons are done massaging one another's egos, no matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness? God, I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackwell. I have to see this through. Mr. Starbuck just has to make it back in space. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackwell's argument somehow. Think, Justice, think. If the only people on Launch Pad 1 are Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time that footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackwell's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradiction in the evidence itself. Now, let's see. About this data we just received. It supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackwell, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush your verdict. But about this oxygen tank data you submitted just now, it says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining while Mr. Taryn's had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description and you'll see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence from Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor, right away. This is the evidence that Action Tank report stands in a contradiction to. And, well, what would it be, actually? Actually, I think it'll be a security footage, and I think you know why. Because there's something in that footage that, like, well, you'll see. How does this evidence present a contradiction? The problem is this part here. And you see right here, it says 50. Now, but the report said 0 and 80. Note the remaining oxygen in Mr. Starbuck's tank as he carries Mr. Terran. It appears to say 50. Well, yes, but according to our data, our client's tank had 80% remaining. The oxygen tank in the oxygen in the tank increased? I see Your Honor finds it as strange as I do. It's bad enough that there was a contradiction, but an increase in oxygen is beyond illogical. Oh my, you're absolutely right. What is going on here?
Silence.
I too find it odd that the oxygen remaining has increased. It would be as odd as if my rations were to increase. But what does that prove? It doesn't change the fact that it's the defendant carrying the victim's corpse.
Objection.
I'm gonna bet you don't get more rations because you don't abide by the rules. Either way, the oxygen remaining should increase just as your rations don't increase. Therefore, this new information is critical. We can't overlook it.
Silence.
In that case, do you have an answer to this riddle of the mysteriously increasing oxygen? You better not disappoint, or I'll declare the inconsistency as miracle equipment malfunction. Prosecutor Blackwell has a point. I suppose it could be a simple malfunction. Mr. Justice, if you cannot provide an adequate counter-argument to this point, I'm afraid I must bring this trial to an end. So, do you think you can explain why the remaining oxygen level increased? Of course I can! The thing you do at a time like this is turn my thinking around. Mr. Starbuck has no memory of it, but he claims to have carried clay. So, this man with the 50 on his tank ought to be Mr. Starbuck. But if anything, the display in his oxygen tank should have shown an 80. This is a clear contradiction between the report and the security footage. So what I should be asking is not why did the oxygen tank level increase, but what had to have happened to make it look like it increased. Am I making some kind of mistake in my base assumptions here? Well, Mr. Justice, we're waiting. Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready to answer. Not really. This is why the remaining oxygen appears to have increased. And they were going the other way. The victim was carrying a defendant. The tanks were damaged. Well, there's only one possible thing here because the other two just sound weird. They were going the other way. I don't even understand how the hell that would even matter in increasing the oxygen tank. But saying that tanks were damaged kind of, to me, in a sense, say like, well, I know Blackwell said he'll just chalk it up to malfunction, but I think if the tanks were damaged, then I think a lot more would have just leaked out. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right. But to say that the victim was carrying a defendant, maybe that explains why he can't even remember anything, because he was already knocked out. What if it was the other way around? The other way around? Would you care to explain, Mr. Justice? As you can see, Your Honor, both men have their helmets on in this footage. But it turns out, this is where our base assumptions went astray. We assumed that it was Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran, but it was the other way around. It wasn't Mr. Starbuck helping Mr. Terran at all. It was Mr. Terran who was helping Mr. Starbuck to the boarding lounge. It was what? Wait, what the? Why didn't I see that one coming? Order! Order! Mr. Justice! You mean to tell me that the person on the right in the image is the victim, Clay Terran? It's the only way to riddle the increasing oxygen level can be solved, Your Honor. At this point in time, the remaining oxygen in the victim's tank was at 50%. And when the victim was found at a boarding lounge, the tank was at 0%. Well, that's right. There's nothing contradictory about the oxygen level decreasing. This means Mr. Taryn was alive as they made their escape to the lounge.
Silence.
How short your memory is. Have you forgotten what you yourself proposed? Even if the victim is alive at this point in time. How did he descend the ladder with his arms full?
Objection.
Prosecutor Blackwell, you can't hurt me with a broken blade. Excuse me? It's true that we don't know how they got down the ladder. I suppose that matter needs further investigating. But we have proof that Mr. Taryn was alive when he reached the boarding lounge. This fact alone shatters your claims, and opens up the possibility the victim could have been killed by a third party. Ugh! There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements? Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police? Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. It seems we'll have to hear the testimony of these first two people on the scene. Score! Come to think of it, Detective Arm should be here in the court right now. Bailiff, could you please show Detective Arm to the stand? What the hell is that? Who? What? Oh God, you. I have an announcement, everyone. Well, what's the meaning of this? We're in the middle of a trial here. Please remain calm and listen carefully. Someone has reactivated a bomb. The bomb was defused, but it's about to explode. Explode! Oh my God! A bomb? Now? Oh, everybody run! Hey, I don't want to die! Oh no! Everybody's panicking! And this is where the... Okay, so... Now I kind of understand. We were in the middle of this... Okay, never mind. I don't know why the hell I was getting confused with the timeline. Headless chickens are the death wish, a lot of you. Calm yourselves a 4-all-1, all else. Come on, Apollo, let's get out of here! But what about Mr. Starbuck's dream? And who will carry out Clay's final wish? I don't care what happens to me. I'm not letting that bomb blow the truth up forever. I refuse to let things end here. Apollo, there's no time to be dramatic. If we don't get out of here now, we're gonna die. Come on, this way. Hey, ouch, let me go. Apollo? Juniper? She hasn't evacuated yet. Ah! No! Juniper, are you alright? Apollo, no! Not that way! Ah! And that's where the first case came to play. Okay. Wow. Alright then. That's starting to make sense now. Okay. Never. Woo! So I'm assuming that when we start off again, it'll take place after the first case of the game, which was, well, the whole bomb case. And maybe I'll explain like why he wants to take a leave of absence, because I guess he wants to figure out this case. I got interrupted. Okay. Seems good. I'm liking this one so far. So, yeah, next episode we'll continue. I don't know if we might do investigating. I doubt the trial is going to start right after that. So, we'll just take it from there. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. I'll see you guys later.